Welcome to Beyond the Box.
Our guests are insiders that are now out and on our side, dropping nuclear intel and breaking it down just for you.
And now it's time to introduce our hosts, Brenda Lankridge and Suzanne Haunt. Join us and subscribe for weekly shows. Beyond the Box begins now. Let's jump in.
Well, hello everybody, and welcome to Beyond the Box, our Cryptid edition. Tommy's running a few minutes behind, but that's okay. It gives me enough time to do everything I need to do. So, first, before we discuss anything, let me go ahead and open in our prayer because there are still a lot of people that are in need. So, I would like to ask the Father to please keep everybody that has been affected by this hurricane safe. Help them to rebuild their lives. It's going to take some work, but I have sat and watched so much, and they're very determined people. And Father, I ask that you keep protection over everybody that is on this show, everybody that watches this show. Right now, we've got crazy times coming up, and I know that you know this, but please keep us all protected. And I ask this in Father's name, or in Jesus' name. I guess he could be the Father too. So, next I want to say, happy birthday to my daughter. Trisha, I miss you and I love you. So hopefully she'll get a chance to watch this. And I'm not sure if Susie's going to be on tonight or not. I did send her the link, so she may pop in. I'm not sure. She still has a lot going on with Roger. He's doing okay. He at least got up out of bed today. So that matters. So, these storms, we have another one coming up through Florida again. Now that one is supposed to hit central Texas before it shoots back off to the Carolinas again. So I'm hoping that we don't get the power outage that everybody else has gotten. But if we do, just know that I'm pretty sure we will be back just as soon as we can get here. I spoke with Dennis Carroll today and asked how he's doing. He's doing pretty good. Still doesn't have his electric on. I was going to have him on the show tonight, but that didn't happen. But next Tuesday, I will have Barb Hartman on. She does the Bigfoot research, and she's big in the Bigfoot community. So we'll have her with us. And then I'm hoping by next weekend or early next week, D.A. Roberts, I'm trying to get him on. So I'm starting to get everybody lined up. I was thinking about doing the shows Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday for the Bigfoot thing, or the cryptids. I was going to do it Monday, but I think I need a couple days to rest after I get on here. And and hustling, looking for, you know, the people to come on the show and everything. It can be kind of tedious. So yes, I did. So oh, I do too. Barb's she's very sweet. Um, I met her, I believe, on Grizzly's show, and I might reach out to Grizzly and have her see if he settled down long enough to come on the show. I don't even know if he's still doing shows. I know he's been running around all over the place, but I'm not sure what he's doing. I have him on my TikTok. I see him all the time. He's taking goofy pictures and stuff. So, but I am looking for people with the cryptid experiences and stuff to come on the show. I have found several people. I haven't had a chance to talk to them yet. So if anybody knows anybody, let me know. And I wanted to start doing these shows a while ago, but I wasn't allowed to because there was somebody else that was kind of running things a little bit. So it'll be all right, and it's going to work out fine. I don't know what Tommy's doing, but he had just walked in the door like right at 9 o'clock. So he messaged me and told me he was running a little bit behind. So what do you guys think? I already know what Denise thinks about these storms. I read that over there. And I'm sorry, Denise, I agree with you. Fully, I agree with you. Sometimes I think that my little cohort over there, he lives in a little box and thinks that FEMA's the greatest thing ever. Him and I got into an argument over that a couple of days ago. he said, oh, I don't know. I got actually my Bigfoot puppet in the back. The girl down the way, she went and bought a purple fedora. And she's like, hey, you need this. So she gave it to me. And I want to go have it made where the sides go up. Because, I don't know, wearing something that looks like I have a being protected from the rain on my head is just too much for me. I don't know about that. No, he did not like that. But that's okay because, you know, I told him, I said, well, he got mad at me and I told him to shut up. And then he told me to F off. And I said, well, when you decide to pull your head out of the government's ass, give me a call. I was kind of really surprised he sent me a link to go over there. I really wasn't expecting him to because he gets a little testy with me. So, yes, Norma, I agree. It is a land grab. Just like Hawaii. And I agree. Because it's kind of funny how they spent so much money to try to start harvesting the lithium there. And then all of a sudden, poof, look what happens. And I'm like, really? Because they wanted to buy up the property in Hawaii and nobody would sell. And then all of a sudden, oh, whole place burns down. Yes. Speaking of quartz, Norma, look what I found in my yard. It was outside here. Oh, it looks like a baked potato, but it's quartz. It's big. I was like, hey. But this used to be a lake here, so we find a lot of interesting things when somebody starts digging around out here. The guy who used to actually live in the apartment I'm in the backyard, he used to dig. And hi, Woo. He used to dig out there and he used to find all kinds of different artifacts out there. And there was a big hole in my backyard. He was told he had to cover, the landlord told him to bury it back, but he didn't. And so I had to hire somebody to do it. And it was a really big hole. But he used to find arrowheads and different types of rocks. And still I found something that looked like a whole piece of garnet. And I brought it in because I have a garnet pendulum. And I brought it in and compared it to my pendulum, and I'll be doggone if it wasn't a garnet. And it was really odd. But we find it all out here. You collect them? Yeah, I've got some little ones. One of them is a kind of like a pink color. Has anybody ever seen the quartz that are kind of like a pinkish color? Or are they called something else? I'm not sure. Yes, it does. It has the largest. But they, you know, I'm going to say something about, they want those for the batteries and for different stuff like that, like the batteries that run the electric cars. Now, let me tell you a little something about these electric cars. And you guys probably already know this. But the charging stations that are on the side of the road, the boxes that are in there, do you know what runs those to be able to charge those electric cars? Diesel fuel. Yeah, rose quartz. Yeah, Tommy. What are you doing in the chat? Get in here. But yeah, they use diesel fuel to run those charging ports that are along the sides of the roads. So what's the problem? Well, I don't get it. I don't get it. I just don't get it. And yeah, but I have people that live in North Carolina. So, you know, when that other person was arguing with me about it, I'm like, dude, I have friends that live out there. I have family out there. I know what's going on. And he refused to listen to anything anybody had to say. And I was like, well, so the next time you call me and you say, oh my gosh, this is happening, I'm going to just play stupid and say, oh, I don't know. Figure it out. Do what you got to do. He drives me insane, Denise. Drives me insane. Really? Well, you know, I'm sorry. Let's see. Did you hear that Elon Musk is coming out with the first? Really? Well, okay. Yeah. What are they going to do with it? What on earth are they going to do with all the lithium then? Use them for, let me see. Use them for spaceships? Rockets to go into space that we don't have. But what? Use them to try to break the firmament? Well, yeah, that would be more efficient. Do you know that I was doing some research? Do you know there was a guy in the 1920s that made a vehicle that ran on water? Then other people made them as the years went by. They designed these vehicles that ran on hydrogen, and they disappeared. They died. You know how that goes. It is the same long-standing story that no matter what they do, they disappear. Something happens to them because they came up with something that people couldn't make money off of. So, you know, the powers to be. If you can't feed their pockets, then it's useless. So yeah, it's incredible. I sat there and I think, yeah, they did kill him, Norma. But I sit there and I think to myself, where did this all go wrong? Where did these people come from? They've had control over everything for so many decades. And it's, we were all kept so much in the dark over a lot of things that nobody ever really thought about it. We trusted these people a lot. We voted them into office, and they were supposed to be people that we trust to, you know, be on our side, do things in our benefit, take care of us. But you can't trust anybody anymore. It's us against them, us against the government. People who want to live and be happy and, you know, work our lives and just be us. And we cannot do that because we are uber controlled on everything. So your car can run for years on high. Oh, yeah, I would want that too. But yep, you're right. No profit. Greedy deep state. Greedy deep state. And did you guys hear who owns one of the companies? Who's the main contributor to the lithium contract thing? Did you guys hear who that was? I know you did. If I heard it, I know you guys heard it. So, and there was documents pulled up on it. So, well, BlackRock is one of them. But one of the main people who is in charge of one of those companies is our VP's husband. How convenient is that? Very, very convenient, huh? So I trust nothing or nobody. Some of the things that are going on right now, you sit back and you look at it and you say, how is this possible? Yes, sure is. So kind of makes you wonder, huh, Norma? Kind of makes it, now wait a minute here. Yeah. So it's a real kick in the shorts. I know that they were having problem. Oh, well, some of the military has been going out there and helping the people in North Carolina, but yeah, Denise, I when I found that out, I was like, well, if that's not the icing on the cake. Jason, no, you did not. Come on. Come on, man. Yeah, but they're people aren't doing it anymore. They're not taking it. They had well, yeah, I guess I would have forgot her too because she's been hiding away for, you know, the last 4 years. But there was a man who, his wife and his kid were there, and I guess he left to go get food and some supplies. He trudged down to go get it, and on the way back they had the street blocked by the state police, and they wouldn't let him go. So did you guys hear about that? So he ran into the barricades and knocked him over, and then when they caught up with him, he beat a cop. And a whole bunch of people came to his defense, and then they ended up leaving because I like Those people are mountain people, okay? Those people at their Tennessee, the only worst place they're going to get is going to be here because we're pretty bad people ourselves, you know? So look at there. Hi, Susie.
Hey,
What you doing?
well, I woke up and I was like tired and sore, but I'm like, I woke up and I'm like, I saw you come on and I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna get ready and I'm gonna come on.
Tommy's running a little behind because he just walked in the door at like 9 o'clock from work. So
Oh,
did you see the background that Tommy made? It's a big
okay,
Bigfoot
yeah,
and a little
that's
Bigfoot
cool.
playing chess.
I play chess with Bigfoot.
Right? There's another one with a Bigfoot playing chess with a
Hi, Brett.
guy.
Hi, Denise.
Denise
How's
wants to know how
Roger?
Roger's doing, yeah.
Okay, so that's a funny story. I think I told a little bit last night, but um, when my neighbor called me to ask me how he was doing, right? um, I told him the story, and he goes, "So we could tell everybody the last we saw Roger, he was walking around Shreveport in a dress."
Right? Got out and went into the store, didn't even close the door in the bathroom, had his butt hanging out, barefooted.
And he has no memory of any of it. It's like, oh my god,
Susie, you know what? You should have recorded it all.
I know.
I would have. Had I been with you, I would have recorded every stitch of it.
He's like, dang, I got to ride the helicopter and I don't even remember it.
See? I'm telling you,
Oh Lord.
had I have been with you, I would have recorded everything, including him flying in the air. I'd have been like, oh, wait. Everything.
I got pictures of the helicopter taking off because but
Yeah.
Roger's so funny. He's like he was not aware that he was giving those volunteers so much hell, and he, he's like he's the most cantankerous, dude. I mean, it's so independent and does, you know. Joel said, I think he unstrapped his, when they strapped him into that thing, he undid it like twice, but he was like moving like this, moving like this, trying to get undone. Don't, and then when they hold his arm, he said, "Don't grab my ankle."
Jason, Roger is a man that lives on Susie's property that has been with her for a long time. He's like family.
Yeah, since like 2011, I think.
Yeah. He
He's like family, so he's
he
from
had a
North Carolina. He grew up right there on the side of the mountain where all this is happening. His family has a big dairy farm, horse farm over there, but they're up on the mountain, and so yeah, he's our Roger that guy, Roger that when you need something done, and we don't know what he doesn't know how the four-wheeler veered off to the right because he didn't do that, and he
or
was just
ended up on
driving
top of
straight.
him.
Yeah, and we've had a lot of, I mean, we've talked about this, but we had a lot of witchcraft against us.
Yes.
And we went down there. There's a flat trail where he was on. I saw it, and the four wheeler just took off to the right, and then it flipped and rolled and landed on top of him. And my son had to run down there and throw the four wheeler off of him. And he wasn't talking for about 10 minutes because it took him about 10 minutes to get here. We have like, I think there's 36 volunteers here. And they all work for free. They don't get paid, and
Yeah.
these guys were here and they did such a great job with Roger, and so patient. And even Roger was giving him hell because he was saying, they were like, "Roger, we need to get you on that stretcher." He goes, "I wasn't in an accident. I'm okay. I don't need anything. Just leave me alone." And they go, and mind your own business. And they go, "You are our business." And he goes, "No, go find some other business." He doesn't remember that. He's like laughing, because He was just like, all he remembers last was us saying we were going to go this way, and we don't know why the bike turned. We don't know why the bike did. We don't know. It's
Now,
so bizarre.
now there's another thing that has come up,
Yes, he
and
broke his collarbone, Norma. He
yeah,
broke his collarbone
he broke
and
the
got
same
9
collarbone I
stitches.
broke.
Yeah.
Yep, he broke the same one I broke. Matter of fact, my left collarbone sticks up, and this one doesn't. My right one doesn't. And it's funny because when I was so small, you could just see it sticking out. And somebody said something to me one day. You got a lump. I said, that's my collarbone. Get off me. My daughter, it's funny because you can't touch her collarbone. It makes her laugh so hard she'll pee herself. It's like one of those things. And her husband, every once in a while, when she gets out of line, he'll walk by and take his 2 fingers, go, and she'll start doing this and laughing. That's pretty funny. I don't know why she's ticklish there. I don't understand it.
Just
But
kind of a sensitive area, I guess, huh?
I guess I don't know. I mean, I'm not really ticklish, so anywhere. So I just think that it's kind of funny. It's pretty. It's
Well,
pretty funny.
Norma, I think that Roger was, he was knocked out when I went to the thing to try to get the machine off of him,
Yeah.
and he was knocked out. So he was knocked out for a while. So he had a pretty good knock to the head, and so he does remember hurting his shoulder, and but he doesn't remember giving them guys a hard time. He doesn't remember the helicopter ride. He doesn't remember walking into the convenience store in a blue dress. And the poor homeless guy saw him and ran over to open the door for him, and his face was all swelled up.
He was wearing a hospital gown, and they're open in the back. But no, Jason, where the adrenaline came from was Susie's son. He ran all the way over there and lifted that 750-pound thing and threw it off of him. And Susie's son is a little guy, and he chucks hay all the time, but 750 pounds, yeah. And that's where the adrenaline came from.
And he didn't even, I mean, he just got a hold of it and picked it up and flipped it off of him, flipped the bike upside down. And I mean, I was like, dang, man, I tried to pick the bike up. I could barely move it a half an inch, It was heavy.
Yeah. So, where I'm living right now, it is getting to be a bad situation.
Okay, you had a bad dream and you need to get out of that neighborhood. Yeah.
And it's been bad. So I went on, and what we want to do is I want to get enough money for a down payment. Susie found these really cute, nice, big, what are they? The tiny homes, but
They're tiny homes.
Kind of big.
Because we want to get Brenda out of here, but it's just gonna, we need something pretty quick, and she needs to get out of. There's been a lot of shootings at your place and things happening in knocks on the door and all kinds of crazy stuff going on at your neighborhood.
I'm targeted here.
You're like in the hood,
I'm in the hood. And I'm targeted in the hood. You would think my hood neighbors would kind of try to help out a little bit, but oh no. They see the military coming and they're like, shit, hide. But so I had gone on, I talked to Brian and asked him how to use that GoFundMe thing. Okay.
Yeah.
So I went on there and I did it.
Okay.
It denied me.
Oh, what about, can you open up a Cash App? My son has that.
I have a Cash App.
Okay.
It's on the bottom where the on the box is.
Okay. But you mean you tried to, okay, but the other thing is connected to the show, or is that what you're talking about?
The Cash App?
No, the other one.
No, I didn't connect it to the show. I had to do it personally. I couldn't connect it to the show.
Okay. What about Facebook?
What about Facebook?
You can add a GoFund on Facebook or something? or
Well, what we want to do, Norma, is I want to get enough of a little bit of a down payment for Susie. Susie's going to go buy it, put it on her land, or get it and put it on her land, and then I'm just going to make the monthly payments.
yeah,
So we're kind of trying to work that out because
just raise a
she
down
wants,
payment. Yeah,
yeah, she wants to build me a
I
house,
want to
but
get her out here. Uh, yeah, and it's just we need a house. Because Brenda needs a house that has a
I
bathroom that she can get
I've been
into.
I've been hearing that whole get out, get out, get out, get out. And then last night I had a dream, and all that happened in this dream was, I guess I can say it. Um,
You
I was
were on the
standing,
floor.
I was standing in my living room, and I was on the floor, and I was covered in blood. Um,
Yeah, in a
like
dream.
somebody
And
shot
your
up the
and our
house.
dreams have been very, and it's a red flag to God saying, You got to get out. You got to go. It's time to
Yeah,
go.
I gotta
You're
go.
in
I
a
gotta
bad
go. I
spot."
gotta go.
Yeah.
So, um, if anybody knows any quirks to uh, that GoFundMe. Like I said, I tried it. They denied me. And all I put on there, because I didn't want to go too high, I didn't want to go too low. So I thought, well, I'll just set it for like, because I mean, you got pretty good credit and stuff, so you wouldn't need a major down payment. So I thought, well, I'll set it for like maybe 5,000 and see what they say. And they denied me. I was like, what? Wait a minute. What kind of crap is this? So if anybody knows any tricks to that trade, let me know. Because
Yeah, we just
it worked
that's.
for
I
me.
mean, if we just can raise a down payment on it, and then
Yeah, that's it.
we can get it all hooked up to the utilities here because we have all that. So, and then that would, and we can modify whatever we need to make it. We
Yeah.
just got to make sure the bathroom is big enough for you to get your wheelchair in and
Well,
everything.
even
But
if it's not big enough for me to get my wheelchair in, because I use the walker
we
in
can
mine,
we can pick them and design. I mean, we
which is
can,
good.
yeah,
I need to use the walker because it keeps my other leg strong. So I don't mind getting up and using the walker. I just can't have rugs on the floor in the bathroom because walkers get caught on them, and
right.
I will face plant. I've done it once. I don't want to do
Oh
it again. I
shoot.
almost did it when I was at your house. I got because I have to have the toilet lift, and your toilet's kind of low in the house over there, and
You got stuck on the toilet.
yeah, Penny's in the other room, and I went in to go pee, and I'm like, oh my God, how am I going to get up? Because when I sat down, I thought I was going to fall off, and I'm laughing at myself, right? And the dog, poor Putin, he's on the floor looking at me like, what are you doing, mommy? And I'm rocking, I'm trying to get up, and I finally rocked enough to stand up, and I went forward. My head went into the wall, and I'm like, oh my God. So I
Right.
thought to myself, if I fall in this bathroom, is Penny going to hear me yelling, Penny, come and get me? Because the only thing can you see her calling Roger? Brenda's in the bathroom with her pants down and she's on the floor.
Roger to the rescue. He drug actually me, Penny, and Joel out of a house when we got gas with carbon monoxide. We were in there dying, and we were all throwing up, and we'd been in there for I guess 2 days, and we're turning red, and he saved our life. He pulled us out of there because he was staying down the road at the time, and he came over to fix a car, and he came in, and we were all throwing up and sick, and he saved our lives. So
Right.
you know,
And you're like, Roger,
Roger.
you saved my life. I'm saving yours. You get
That's
in
what
that
Joel said. I
ambulance
think we're
and go.
even. Yeah, Joel goes, Roger, we're even now, right? Because you saved my life, and now I got that. He says, yeah, we're even.
Yeah. We're even till next time. We'll see what happens.
Right.
But I'm telling
Gotta.
you, if I'm out there, you might as well tell him. He does anything like that again, Brenda is recording it all, every bit of it. I
He would
don't
get a
care
good
if
kick
his
out of
butt is. I don't care if his butt is in the video. I am
that.
doing it all.
Joel said that just made his whole life to see Roger in a dress.
Right.
Oh,
Glenn, I have no idea where Andy is. I messaged him. I don't have a clue.
I'm gonna grab some.
What did you guys do to him? But yeah, but yeah.
So what does Tommy have? He has a video of something on Bigfoot.
I
Or
do. I do.
something
Oh,
paranormal.
oh, the amount you mean, Denise? Is that what you mean?
Oh, why don't you put the number sign on the bottom of the screen instead of a smiley face?
Bottom of the screen.
Oh, okay.
Oh, well,
Ask
I don't,
Julie, she knows how. Okay.
oh, okay.
Thank you, Denise.
I'm like, well, I have the Cash App thing, but I have no idea. Oh, smiley face. I have smiley faces.
Right? Instead of doing a smiley face, you can put a
I know.
number, a cash sign
I
at the bottom of
know.
the screen.
Do I have a smiley face at the bottom of the screen somewhere? Am I missing something? What did I do?
Am I missing something? You know, you're talking to two girls who, you know, we weren't like, you know, raised up in this technology stuff, you know.
Yeah, I know, right? I tell everybody all the time, I am so computer stupid.
That's why I get Joel to do everything for me. He can do everything on a computer. Shoot.
Right?
I could probably get Joel to show us how to do it. You know.
Oh,
It's next.
that is the dollar sign next to.
Okay. To the
Next,
reactions in chat. Oh.
oh, I don't know how to do. Oh, I don't know how to do that.
We need a
I
step
didn't
1,
know.
step 2, step 3 kind of instructions, you know, we're kind of
Okay. Oh
slow.
no, I know what you're talking about because I used it a couple times on Rob's show when I sent him donations for the show.
Oh, okay.
I know what they're talking about. I just got to
Okay.
figure out how to do it on here because he has it on Streamlabs, but I mean on StreamYards, but I run on Streamlabs, so I have
Okay.
to figure out what that is. And see, right
So it's
now I
there.
go I go and touch it, and it's the red circle with the line through it.
You may
So
have to call them.
I don't know what that means.
That means no, usually. No go. Stop.
Yeah, they do. They do. Well, so does, from what I'm to understand, so does, what do you call it? Shoot. GoFundMe. Apparently, they take a lot off of the top also. They take a percentage of whatever it is that you have.
Oh.
Yeah. Yep. 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 Well, and YouTube, you have to have a certain amount of followers to be able to do the cash things for YouTube. With the issues that we all have with YouTube, I don't really think I would trust them anyways.
Right.
I don't know. I think that they probably
Hey,
work
you
with.
want to tell everybody about the last couple of days, our weird dreams that we've both been sharing?
Oh my gosh, yes, they have been absolutely
Well,
just
yeah,
really weird.
started. Yeah, I like for 3 days in a row before this thing happened, I kept hearing ambulance like in my ear. I kept hearing the sound of like an ambulance, and I thought, where? And I got up. It was late at night, and I looked outside. I'm out in the country. There's nothing here. I'm like, why am I hearing an ambulance? You know? So it was just real low in my ear. I could hear it. And the next day I was in town. I heard it again, and then I heard it the third time, and I kept thinking, why am I hearing, you know, like a siren? And it's the same low sound in my ear. I can hear it.
Really.
And so, and then when the ambulances end up coming 3 days later, right? So I'm like, oh, okay. So I don't just see things now. I don't. Okay, now I'm aware now that if I hear something like that, I'm gonna know that it means something. You know what I mean? Like, okay,
Right.
I heard the ambulance because I heard it 3 days before it was coming. And
Yeah,
and then you had a dream about an ambulance.
an ambulance. There was some
What,
kind
the
of a
day before? The
yes,
day before?
yeah. It
Yeah.
was some kind of accident, and it was outside because I seen grass, and there was an ambulance there. So Susie
Hmm.
and I have been doing this for a while, but lately, since what happened to us with the whole black magic stuff, we've been doing it
Well,
a lot more.
we both had a dream about my well, we could just say it about Penny. We both had a dream about Penny. Same night, same time, pretty much.
Yeah, same exact dream.
Same exact dream. And I
What was
I
said,
actually told you
everything.
at the hospital. I said, oh, I said something. I was telling you about the one thing, and then I said her name. It came out of my mouth, and I go, okay, yeah, I had a dream about her too. And in the dream, she was trying to get back in my house, and I'm like, oh no, 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 you can't come in my house. You're a liar, and I don't want you in my house, and you don't live here. And she was trying to get back in my house, and there was a woman there that had dark hair, and her friend, and she was trying to talk me into letting her back. And I was like, oh hell no,
Yeah, and that when
you
she told
you
me
know,
she was with a friend, I said, "Was she with a dark-haired woman?" Susie's like, "Yeah." I said,
yeah. And we described this woman, the same woman in the dream that, and what I'm like, what the hell? You saw the same woman in the dream. And then I had a dream about Anna Mae.
"Yep,
You were visited by Anna Mae at the hospital, and then you had a dream of her, and then she came that same night that I had the Penny dream, and she came the same night in the dream, and she's like telling me, I was a good person and stuff, and then she wanted to talk to me some more, and then she's like, I want you to start taking care of your kidneys better or something like that, and I guess I need to drink more water,
I think
you
that
know,
she is like
that's what,
a
a
angel
healer.
of healing."
She's like
Yeah,
a healer. Yeah, she had
healer,
something to do with healing because she came to you when you were sick, and she came to me to just to give me precaution. And I
yeah,
said, yeah, she's a black lady, and she's really like highly intelligent and very smart, and I really liked her. And I'm like, how weird that I would have a dream with her in it, and so I
yeah.
mean, we're like, and then we had that other dreams before where I had a dream about those satanic people that were going after my son, and I told you the dream, and then the next day you end up having this whole dream with the whole thing, and then I have a third dream of it, and I'm like, oh my god. And it was like part one, part two, part three, but you had part two, and then I had part three of the dream.
Right.
I'm like,
Yes,
Brenda.
Norma, they're locked. They're locked up.
Yeah, yeah, we put them away. Yeah.
Are locked up. For all we know, they might be in a plastic garbage bag, sealed up and buried in the yard with the Indian guy.
Right.
The Indian guy that's on the property who watches over the property is now watching over the journals.
Right.
Absolutely. I
Oh
worry.
Lord.
So yeah.
So, and my
What is
neighbor asked me, when we were leaving, he goes, because he was in the military, apparently him and his wife, and he's an older man. And I told him about the ambulance thing I was hearing. He goes, "Are you psychic?" And I went, "Yes." And I go, "But if you're a Christian, you would say that I have spiritual gifts. I have the gift of knowing, you know. But
what they say?
if you were just talking to regular people, yes, psychic is the word, you know."
We have kind of a lot of that going on between the two of us.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. Our dreams just absolutely amaze me, you know. Right, Norma? Evidence don't lie.
Right. Oh Lord. But yeah, so Brenda had a very strange dream last night. Last
This
night?
last
Okay.
where when I
Yeah,
slept for
so
2 hours.
she's getting a message. She's got to get out of there, and she's in a bad place.
I
Um,
am.
yeah,
It's
yeah. So we got to get her
it'll
out.
be all
Yeah.
right. You can only do what you can do. Um, I'm glad I have a metal door though, but I have been meaning to. I read in one of those books that you should go and remove the two screws that hold your deadbolt plate, and put like 3-inch screws back in it, because when you try to kick it, and I remember that, so when you try to kick a door in with the 3-inch screws, it's in a lot further into the frame of the house, so your door doesn't come open that easy. So I've been meaning to send Jack down to go get some of those screws. He may even have some. I don't know. I'll have to ask him when he's not busy.
Right?
Like he's
Yeah, and
always
you need to put like bells on your door too, so when your door opens, it rings a bell, you know.
well, I had that door cam out there that got zapped. The new
Right,
door
you
cam
need
I
another
have.
one. Yes.
I'm telling you, this whole stuff between the military, between the FBI, and now my people parking out in
Drive-by
front of my
shooters.
apartment, and my door cam getting zapped, and that was not an old door cam, it was new. But my dogs were traumatized by the doorbell because people would ring it, and it rings really loud in here because it's just a small place. So now, if they hear a doorbell on TV, if they hear a doorbell on my computer, they are running to the door, barking, barking, barking. I'm like, oh my God, shut up. And my little one, I have to sit there and say, okay, thank you. You did a good job. Thank you for protecting me before he shuts up. Or he'll keep going. Glenn, what are you doing over here? Aren't you on your show? What happened? Yeah, so I think that doorbell traumatized them. They're like, ding dong. I'm like, oh my God.
So,
And I
Brenda,
love my dogs. Yes.
let me ask you a question. Okay, so the other day, I told you I stopped at the Bigfoot Museum
Yes.
and the Boggy Creek uh, monster. That's what they call him, right? And
Yeah.
because apparently they're spotted at the Boggy Creek where it connects to the Red River. There's quite a few sightings, and I went in there and they had a lot of foot casts, like they do that plaster of Paris thing. So they had a whole lot of Bigfoots.
Yeah.
And there was new newspaper articles, and so the guy that I get my hay from, I asked him. I said, "Have you ever seen Bigfoot out here?" He said, "No," and he's a real good Christian man. He said, "No, I never seen Bigfoot. He's seen a cougar and a panther, a black
Yeah, they
panther.
don't
His
count.
mom saw a panther, huh?"
I said, they don't count.
Right, I know, big cats or whatever, right? But he said, but his good friend who lives there, who's a real good Christian man, he said he spotted Bigfoot. And he said, I know he doesn't lie. So, I just thought since I'm in that area, I'm going to like I talked to, last time I was at the store, at the museum store, it's like a convenience store where they sell pizza and, you can go in there, and then they have the museum on the one side, and then the little convenience store on the left, right? And then I got me a Bigfoot T-shirt while I was in there, and but I met the kid whose father. I talked to him a long time. He was in the store, and he said that it was his father's farm that they took those plaster of Paris footprints on it. His father found those prints out in his field,
Oh,
and
cool. The prints they had there at the store.
yeah. So they made that documentary movie about the Boggy Creek Monster with the townspeople that actually witnessed it. So it was really a documentary, you
Right.
know, and it was all the townspeople that had seen him. There's quite a few people who have spotted the Bigfoots. Um, and I didn't hear any bad reports on Bigfoot, but my thought is um, Bigfoot is interdimensional, you know, and definitely going through portals, and they're the good guys. And this is why I think so too, because the whole thing with James Casbolt and Michael Aquino hunting the Bigfoots to kill them. Okay, why would Satan want to kill Bigfoot? You know what I mean? Like, it's because Bigfoot is apparently working for the little people or something. I think, you know what I mean. So James Casbolt was talking about this time that they took him out and they were chasing down a Bigfoot, and a Bigfoot went behind some trees and then disappeared in a UFO. He said he got away. So, you know, that makes you wonder. And you hear the stories of a lot of people claiming Bigfoots have protected them from the dogmen. You know, the so the Bigfoots are kind of the guardians of the jungle, I think, from the wolf, from the dogmen. You know, it's from what the reports I've been getting. You know,
Right.
and then I
No,
met another guy who lives in Texarkana. He was working over there in Doddridge, Arkansas, and he said, I don't believe in any of that stuff. And he said, but I went to work for this guy that has 5,000 acres on the Red River, and I went to the store in the morning, and I went to his ranch. I was doing some welding, and I'm going down through the woods, and I'm driving. It's early in the morning. The sun had just come up. You know, it was still, you know, early. And he said this hairy thing runs across him, in front of his truck, and he runs off into the woods. And he said, "Oh my God, what did I just see?" And he said it happened again the next day. So he talked to the owner of the 5,000 acre ranch, and the man said, "Oh yeah, Bigfoot lives out here. They live out here. They don't bother us, and we don't bother them." And so, you know, the man that wasn't a believer is a believer now, you know, because he saw him twice. And
right.
apparently, on the other side of that 5,000 acre ranch, I think this government owned another 10,000 acres in Arkansas, there where in Falk, Arkansas, where Bigfoot is, and that area. And so that's where a lot of people have claimed the Bigfoots are pretty heavy. And then there's also a lot of neighbors that have seen a lot of UFO activity coming down, big UFOs coming down. So I think those are connected to the Bigfoots too. I think, you know, I think Bigfoots are everywhere, Brenda. You know, in different
Yeah.
places. They claim they're in Tennessee and Ohio and North Carolina. You know what I mean? Colorado, but you know,
Oregon. I think, well, anywhere where there's really woods, because we've got them here. I think you've got some out there at your place. They might be a little upset right now because you've taken a lot of the woods away, but you
they
left
probably
them.
think it looks
You
pretty
left them
good. They're
alone.
probably like, "Oh, you did a good job."
Yeah, when you're dead, I'm going to come out there and roll around. They like it.
Yeah,
But
I think Bigfoots are like kind of like Neanderthal man to me. I mean, that's the way I see them. They're like human, that they, but they're very telepathic. Like they're very psychic, right? But they're like a very advanced human with just hair. You know? I
yeah,
mean, they
yeah.
look human, they
They don't
act
speak out of
human.
their mouths as far as communicating with anybody, but they do
Sometimes they
telepathy.
do. You hear some of the reports and they do kind of talk. And I've actually, one guy said his family had a big farm, and he got out in the woods one day, and there was one big giant Bigfoot and a whole family of them, and the guys and that Bigfoot communicated quite well with him in English,
Oh,
and told him, you know, thanked him and his father for, you know, treating him with respect. And yeah, it was a really interesting story. The guy was like, you know, he never thought he'd ever see a Bigfoot, but he got stranded out there with his four-wheeler or something. And after that, he always left food out and things like that. And he said, I guess his father had always left food out during the winter for the Bigfoots, and they were like, "We appreciate that," you know. So, you know, and they said there are occasionally a bad Bigfoot out there. They said that to him, but that pretty much all the Bigfoots were pretty much the good guys, is what I heard. You know, it's just like people. You know, you can have a bad one every now and then. You
well,
know.
yeah, and I mean, I think that the intentions are they want to be left alone. Okay, they don't want to be bothered. They want to do their thing, and as long as you're not there to harm them, then I would think that they just would leave you be. Sonia, I was going to have her come on tonight on the second half of the show, but she never got back to me. So, and she's got them out there at her house. They've actually been out there since she was young. and they
Right?
watch the property and, what have you. But there are a lot of other cryptids out there. We've got, of course, the Bigfoot. We've got Dogman. What is it? Mothman. There's Tommy had drew up a thing called, what was it? The Cryptid gang, and he put like all of them in there, and some weird looking ones that I don't know what they are.
Well, in Star Wars, they got, that one that looks like Bigfoot. What's his name? Who's the hairy, what do they call him in Star Wars?
Which one? Oh, Chewbacca?
Yeah, that's a
The
Bigfoot.
Wookiee? The
Yeah,
Wookiee?
whatever he is. Yeah, but it's really a Bigfoot.
He's a Wookiee.
Yeah, Chewbacca. Yeah, that guy. It's a Bigfoot, for God's sake.
Well, yeah,
Come on.
actually, it is.
Uh-huh.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I only noticed that because when we were sitting at the hospital with Roger, he had the TV on. I looked up, and there's Star Wars, and there he is, and I'm like, that's Bigfoot.
Wait a minute. What Denise said that she was watching a Bigfoot show earlier, and this guy wants to kill him. Says that they're drug makers.
Hey, he must be related to Michael Aquino. Yeah.
He might have been on some drugs. Maybe he buys them from people that he thinks looks like Bigfoot. I don't know.
Oh God.
That could be it.
That's just an excuse to kill Bigfoot. Yeah.
I've done some things when I was younger, and thought Mickey Mouse was, I don't even know, but he was very scary. But yeah, I seen a video earlier today, and I about died. It didn't say where it was from, but there was all these cops parked on these streets, and I thought for a minute there it was North Carolina. And there was helicopters over, and you can hear them and see them. And they said
it was Tennessee.
Was it Tennessee?
I think so.
And the military helicopters were over there, and the guy said they have a Bigfoot trapped in the barn, and the military's coming in. And I'm thinking, oh, those people need to get that poor Bigfoot out of there before the military gets to him, because their intentions can't be very good.
No.
I was like, and then somebody else I looked in the comments, and they said, well, Bigfoot can shape shift, so it needs to turn itself into a horse and just sit there and be quiet. I was like, well, that would be a good idea if they could do that.
So I don't know. Brett, the kid from the Land of the Lost, was that a Bigfoot? I guess. I don't remember. I don't know.
Kid from the Land of the Lost.
Chaka or something. It sounds like a Bigfoot name.
Oh, you mean the short little ones that they had?
That's like a baby Bigfoot.
Yeah, a bunch of baby Bigfoots. I know they had that lizard-looking thing on there. I remember what you're talking about. My brother used to watch that. It looked like Ape Boy.
Oh, okay.
Okay, yeah. So well, some people believe that, of course, they believe that we evolved from apes. I personally, I don't believe
or
that.
Neanderthal. Yeah, or
Correct.
kind of a Neanderthal man, and which is kind of like a Bigfoot. And I'm, you know what? Some probably have that in their DNA. Some races, yeah.
But I think that if anybody was going to be compared from coming from a primate, I would think that Bigfoot would be it, because I mean,
Jason said Bigfoot is often confused with Sasquatch and Yeti. Is there a difference between
I thought Sasquatch was a Bigfoot.
Sasquatch and Yeti? Okay, Jason knows a whole lot about that, apparently.
Well, I know that the Yeti is different, isn't it? Because it's snow and it's white and what have you. But if you know different, Jason, just go ahead, inform me. But
Yeah,
I do believe that Bigfoot um, and Sasquatch, I thought, were the same thing.
right.
Oh, it's a play on words.
And what
Oh,
about the Boggy Creek monster? Is he, I guess he's like, calling him a monster, but he ain't a monster. I mean, well, he's bigger than, you know, I don't know. That doesn't make him
maybe
a monster.
something. I don't know, but it's like uh, they they've had all this stuff around. Do you guys remember that old TV show that used to be on Alf? Okay,
Yeah,
think about him. Now he was little, but
he
think
was a
about the
weird
way
looking
he
little
was.
creature.
Other than the big nose, I
It's kind of like an
mean,
anteater, I think.
what's a hairy anteater? If I've ever
Well,
seen one.
anteater, yeah, anteaters have a lot of hair.
Hairy anteaters.
I think he was supposed to be an anteater, something like that.
He was supposed to be something, but I mean, it's just
Now,
really
I knew this Indian girl from Canada years ago. She told me this story about her tribe, her people in Canada, and the Bigfoot. She said that the uh, the Bigfoots lived with her people, her tribe, right? And they were
yeah.
very psychic, and they could read your mind. They knew what you were thinking and stuff like that. And what happened in her village, he ate
Jason said
cats.
Alf ate cats.
Okay.
Yes, he did.
He wasn't an ant eater, he was a cat eater.
Yeah.
Um so in her family Indian tribe, what she said what happened was the this is kind of funny, but some of the Indian guys, they were having affairs on their wives, right? And the Bigfoot knew it and was telling on them. And so they got mad and ran the Bigfoots out. They said, because the Bigfoots knew everything. You couldn't hide anything from them. So can you imagine if you want to know anything, you just take Bigfoot with you and he could tell you everything that SOB was thinking,
Yeah. Right. Well, I'll tell you what, you know what? I'd have filled a cupboard with peanut butter and just let it live with me. I wouldn't have to do nothing. It could tell me everything that goes on. Plus, I'd have somebody to carry the laundry. So,
Well,
that would be
they
kind
could
of cool.
sure rat out the bad guys real quick and say, this is what he's thinking. He's lying.
Maybe,
Can't hide
you
the
know
truth
what?
from Bigfoot.
Maybe that's why the government wants to get their hands on them so bad.
Well, think about that. I mean, these guys, she said that's why they ran them out of the village, the Indian, because they didn't like their secrets revealed.
Oh,
You know,
well,
can't hide secrets from a Bigfoot.
I wonder if they're like certain. I wonder if they find a mate and they keep that mate for life. That is a question I've kind of always wondered, but nobody has ever touched ground on that.
Well, I guess somebody that like that girl they lived in their village, they have stories. They'd probably know because they have families, they have kids. It's
Julie and Jason are
oh
on a roll in the chat.
right. So the cats in Ohio, huh? It's the
Yeah,
elves are
Alf
running
is
around,
loose.
huh?
Alf is loose. You guys are silly.
Yeah, they probably choose a mate for life. I bet, it's probably,
I would think they would. I mean, well,
they seem to have to be a very honest being. If they can read minds that well, there's nothing they're going to hide from each other either.
oh, that's true. Can you see
You
that
know,
one? Mama Bigfoot coming home. I read your mind. You were looking at so and so's behind.
you
You're
can't
like,
keep a
oh
secret from a Bigfoot, right?
God. That would be a fight in the house. It would probably break some walls.
Right.
Julie.
I don't know, Joey.
You know,
I
any
wouldn't be
pic-
looking, so I don't know.
any picture that I've
Probably
ever
covered up
seen,
with a bunch of hair, you know.
yeah, I was gonna say any picture that I've ever seen, they've been standing there and there's not really anything but hair hanging all over the place. So maybe it's like,
I
what
mean,
animal is that where it pops in and only pops out when they're excited?
or a dog? No, I don't know.
There's animals that do that. And I mean, really, Bigfoot's got animal instincts. But then again, so do we.
Hairy instincts. I guess you know, got a lot of
Hairy
hair.
instincts.
Doesn't need to buy a coat for the winter, that's for sure.
I heard they don't smell too good either. So, but then
They
again, I guess
probably do that on purpose, though, to keep, you know,
right,
that's
keep people away
probably
from it.
like, yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Well, yeah, because if they,
Probably
bathed and
not gay
showered and
Bigfoots.
smelled
Probably not
good,
gay Bigfoots. Wait, I don't.
if they bathed and showered and combed their hair, you know,
Just think if we could
people
make
wouldn't
peace with
really
the
be no
Bigfoots,
Bigfoot.
you know, they could help us like lift heavy things and stuff like that. You know, it'd be kind of beneficial to have a Bigfoot friend, you know? Right,
Yeah.
Brenda? I mean, right.
Well, somebody told me about a different dimension, a different timeline dimension, where there are people who do live with Bigfoots and other beings, and they all live very happily.
Right?
So, I mean,
I like to go
and
visit that dimension.
I know, right? But somebody said it's
How did we
definitely.
get stuck in this one? That's what I want to know. Because this one is really fucked
I'm
up.
telling you, in 2012, we skipped something, and
Yeah.
it got all thrown out of whack. I
Yeah.
felt it in 2012, and it's not been the same since.
See, they could build you a house in no time
Yeah, but
because they're so strong, you know, they
it
could.
might be made out of sticks, and I might have to throw a tarp
Well,
on
they
it.
could
So,
do. We could just have them doing all the heavy lifting. You know, we just
yeah,
have. You know,
pyramid.
here, reach
Look
that up
it.
there. Well, there he is,
Hi,
Mr.
Tommy.
Tommy.
Sorry,
How was work?
it was long.
Was it?
Hmm.
We
Yeah.
were just sitting here throwing
Talking
around
Bigfoot.
our opinions on Bigfoot, and Tuesday, I told everybody that Tuesday, and the time is going to be an hour earlier for the Bigfoot show.
Bigfoot.
Oh,
Bigfoot.
look at Tommy's skateboard.
Tommy, you got a big foot.
Now that's a big foot, Tommy.
Dang, that is a really big foot.
Yeah, this was my skateboard company. Sasquatch
You know
Skateboard.
what?
What size foot is that, Tommy? In
It's
its
a size
size.
40. Size 40.
Size 40.
Ah.
Okay.
Did you paint that?
This is my skateboard company. We manufacture them.
Oh.
Now, I've made a decision. From now on, that's the only thing that Roger's allowed to ride on. If he falls off that, he ain't going to hurt nothing.
I don't think you get very far in the sand out here on that, Brenda. It'd
I
be
know my
Yeah.
hair barely makes it.
They have mountain boards with big pneumatic tires, and motors and stuff.
Yeah.
Woo.
We gotta 4-wheel drive my chair. That way when I get out to Susie's, I can just go everywhere. Hey, we can take the parts off of Roger's 4-wheeler, seeing he's not gonna need it.
Put some Bigfoot mud gripper tires on it.
Yeah, big mud grip tires on it. Well, I wouldn't be able to get in it. I'm only 5 foot. I gotta, when I stand up, so it's gotta be short. And I can't climb a ladder because what am I gonna do? Hop up it?
Have to get a small scissor lift. Be like
Yeah.
be like a rolling elevator.
We could just tie a rope around me and we can throw it over the chair and then have one of the horses grab it and they could just pull me up and I can just go. Where
Yeah,
there is a will, there is a way.
There you go.
Yes. I like that board though. That is pretty awesome, Tommy.
Thank you.
Yeah,
made
Bigfoot
it-
board.
We made a right foot and a left foot for regular and goofy riders.
Really?
Yep.
Look, and I can't get people to sell me 2 left shoes. What kind of crap is that? Jason says we could just jerry rig everything. Yeah. But
So Tommy, I hear you found some kind of footage or something. I've been curious to find out what did you find?
Well, I've had some footage from my security cameras for a while. A couple years ago, I had I mean, I could probably when I hook the cameras back up, I'm sure I'll get more stuff like that. But I had just like every time I checked, I found something weird. You know, like there are things that look like fairies. There are things that look like Anyway, this main one is it's called the Skinwalker video or the shapeshifter.
yeah,
An animal comes in from the left-hand side and then disappears behind nothing, and then reappears out of thin air. And every step it takes, it looks like a different animal.
yeah.
And it's
Now, before we go any further, I have to show you something, Tommy. Told you my little friend down the way, she moved out.
Yeah.
So she came over and she gave me stuff because she used to buy things and not use anything. Okay. So check this out. You ready for this, Tommy? Now, hang on. These aren't the only ones. Now, these are extremely dark, so I can't wear these in the house at all. Can't see a doggone thing.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Nice.
I was like, ooh, I have big old glasses like Tommy.
Welding style.
Yeah. You should see Roger's glasses.
Yeah.
They're probably all broke to hell.
They're smashed. I found one lens out in the field.
Oh, Jesus. Now we got to get Roger new glasses or he ain't going to be able to see.
That's it.
But yeah, and then she gave me a purple fedora hat, which is
nice.
Really cute. But I want to have the sides put up though. It's too floppy for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It doesn't have any shape to it. It's just all round. But
that may be like a garden hat, like a planter's hat.
right. That's what I'm
Get the sun out of your eyes.
The different styles had they all had a utilitarian purpose for the most part.
Yeah.
It's like Conchero Mexican Conchero hats, cowboy hats. The bills are like this wide, but they're still cowboy hats.
Yeah.
Same one. I got them somewhere.
I don't know if I wore that out here, Texans might beat me up.
Oh, come on now.
I doubt it. It doesn't matter what kind of hat you wear out here, as long as it's a hat.
When I moved to Nashville in 2011, seems like I was the only person wearing a cowboy hat.
Are you serious?
Yeah, it was weird.
Huh.
I wore them all the time.
When I lived in Tennessee, well, I lived in Murfreesboro, which wasn't that far from Nashville. We all did. My ex-husband wore them. His mom even wore them.
Well, you know, Nashville got kind of like bro country California for a while. I mean, it still is in some ways, but now they also have the nostalgia stuff back too. But it's kind of like it's turned into LA for hill folk, you know, and not Beverly Hills.
Yeah, my son Joel, he don't go anywhere without his cowboy hat on. So
Nice.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Nice. Well, you guys, y'all cowboys down there in Tejas.
Yep.
You got a ranch.
Well, Jack has one, but he won't wear it outside. When we first met, we were gonna get married, and so we were gonna do it all in Western wear and stuff. And it was funny. First, we started with me. I went dress shopping because we were just gonna do normal stuff. Put him in Western stuff. I was gonna wear a dress. Let me tell you something. I've been married 3 times and I never wore a wedding dress. Okay.
Me neither.
Well, I hope not. So I went to this dress bouquet to go try on a wedding dress. This woman come in there to help me get in this big old thing. And mind you, I was little. I got in this dress and somehow my foot got in one of the arms. It was over my head. I couldn't get out. I was screaming at
Okay.
this woman to get me out of this octopus. I was
Yeah.
flaring my arms trying to figure out. When I got done, I threw that thing on the ground and I walked out there and looked at him and I said, I'm wearing damn jeans. Okay. We ended up, a friend of mine gave me hers and it was beautiful. But if you looked underneath it, I was wearing my cowboy boots. I was wearing my riding boots to be exact.
Yeah,
You
homecoming,
see what I got on, Brenda?
Yeah, I see it. But now,
Annie,
Jack's hat, I bought
Huh?
him a Stetson.
Annie,
And that Stetson ran me about $300. So he keeps it in the box. Every now and then he takes it out and he uses the brush and he cleans it and puts it back in there. I don't know what he's saving it for, but he doesn't wear it on an everyday basis. Every once in a while, when we would go out somewhere together, he might wear it. But the wedding didn't end up happening because we found out that his ex-wife lied to him and didn't file for divorce like she said. And so, yeah, that didn't end up happening. But yeah, I have always swore I would never get in a wedding dress. And after that experience that I had in that dressing room, I was like, oh, no, 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 no. And I mean, she's like, well, just hang on. You got to put it over here and just hang on. I said, lady, my foot is in the sleeve, okay? It's upside down. Get me out of this thing. It was horrible. But when I grew up, I wasn't one that wore dresses. I wore jeans, by God. And to be exact, I wore 501s. I grew up in California. I wore 501 jeans, and that was my go-to. And it's like, if you came near me with a dress, my mother tried that once. Oh, look, isn't this cute? I said, nope, and walked away.
Yeah, I'm not a dress kind of girl either. I used to get in trouble because I always wore my jeans.
I wore
You
like
know.
Wrangler, Levi's.
Levi's, yeah.
Yep. Well, I buy dresses now because it's easier for me. Because if I wear pants, but I have to tuck the leg. And if I can get dressed, because Putin, when that leg is dangling there, the empty one, he is playing with it, pulling on it, spinning around in circles with it. I was trying to get dressed the other day when we were leaving. I had to go somewhere and I was standing up on my walker trying to get dressed. And I hurt myself fighting with him, trying to keep my clothes on because he kept pulling it. And I'm like, leave it alone, leave it alone. And I'm pulling, almost fell into the bathtub. So, but the dresses are just easier for me now because but I try to make sure they're at least cute. So I go online looking, going, yeah, they will do that one. And maybe that one, put that in the cart and maybe we won't use it. But yeah, it just makes it easier. Other than that, if I'm wearing a big t-shirt, I ain't wearing any pants. That's just the way it goes. And that's a big time joke on Glenn's show because everybody's like, what are you doing? I said, Glenn says, oh God, I'm not wearing any shoes. I said, it's okay. I'm not wearing any pants. Difference does it make? So, I did one time on his show and my pant leg got caught in between the door frame and my wheel on my wheelchair. And I stood up, took my walker and started scooting that way. And all of a sudden I got stuck and I was like, what the hell am I stuck on? And I'm pulling and pulling. When you really have to pee and you get stuck like that, and if you fall down, you pee on the floor. I was gone a long time. And I came back on the show and everybody's like, where you been? Oh, you don't want to know. So it's like, God, that was it. I decided no more. I am not wearing pants around the house. Anybody comes to my house?
That's my policy anyway. So I have the same policy.
Well, yeah, but you live alone, so it's like, oh, so when people come to your house, instead of taking their shoes off and leaving them by the door, they just take their pants off and drop them there.
I mean, if they want to.
If they want to.
Hey, Brenda, do you know that the Stetson and the Resistol are like the two different kind of hat? One is for like an oval head and the other's for a round head. Did you know that? Yeah, I have a round head, so I have to get the round head hats.
Yes.
There was one thing I didn't know till I moved to Texas was when you buy your hats, you have to measure your head.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah, because
any good at that.
Yeah, everybody has different size head
Yeah.
and a different shape. Some people are like an egg shape, and some people are round.
I'm more egg.
Huh?
Yeah. So is Jack.
I'm more egg. Like my senior year, my football helmet was so tight in the forehead that when I would take it off to get water, my forehead would swell up like immediately, and I wouldn't be able to put the helmet back. So so the trainers in her infinite wisdom decided to fix that by taking a bread knife and taking the forehead pad out and cutting about a third of it out of the back of the forehead pad.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So I played my senior season where I had like lots and lots of hits with the head. I went through 7 face masks my senior year.
Yeah, because on the cowboy hat, they have that rim in there, and if it doesn't fit right, I used to stick tissue in there, to make it fit, like padding.
Sure.
So and then I always have to bobby pin my hat on when I go ride my horse, because if my horse takes off, my hat's gone. I can't make a hat stick to my head when I'm going fast.
Norma, me, I'm 5 foot. I always dated bigger guys, always. And my bestie, he is a big Italian dude. So every guy that I have ever been around that has been bigger than me, I acquire a shirt. So I have a lot of big, long shirts that I have acquired from men. And I still have a whole bunch of them. Of course, they fit me better now than they did then. Then I looked like I was swimming in them. I could put my arms and my legs all in them and just sit in there like I was in a little koozie.
So, Brenda, do you have that footage that Tommy sent on the thing?
I don't know if I have it. Let me look.
I really want to see that. That's all.
I tried to send it when I first got
here,
and I was having like some type of attack on my phone. Like
you were having an attack on your phone?
Well, yeah, like it's a denial of service attack. It's where somebody bombards your IP address with incoming data to where it just shuts down.
Shoot.
I have them in your messenger, my messenger with you. Hang on, let me find them. They're up here somewhere.
I swear it sounds like somebody's in my front yard with like a PA system.
Do I need to come over there?
No.
I've got a PA system, probably with their name on it.
I got something louder than a PA system.
Yeah.
I mean, I have a PA too, or a couple of them, but yeah. Just shoot the speakers.
There you go. That's what I feel like doing sometimes when people drive through here with their boom boxes going and they're so loud and it's like 3 and 4 o'clock in the morning and I'm like, oh my God. And they get the dogs barking. And then my neighbor on this side of me has a fit because my dogs are barking. And I'm like, well, I can't help the lady over here who wants to drive around at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning with her speakers so loud that it rattles my windows and my dogs are going to bark.
There's no car.
There's no car over there. Well, there is here.
It's a railroad switching yard across the street, and nobody lives in the house next door.
Right. Okay. Now let me find the right ones. I found them. I love that fairy one. I'm going to tell you right now, that one is definitely a fairy. Oh, when I looked at it, that's exactly it. Okay, so let me get this up here. And the first one I think is the shape-shifting one. Let me see. Can I? Doggone it. Whenever I have them like this on here, I can't make them bigger. That just makes me angry. Okay. Now.
Oh, okay. Okay, tell us what we're looking at, Tommy.
Yeah, tell us what we're going to see.
This is something triggered the motion light, and you'll see along the right side of the van there a series of lights that they're right there, and then the motion light comes on, and then you can see something move back away from the light down the side of the van. If you look through the windshield through the driver's side window, you can see it. I don't know what it is, but
I see that right there.
The series of lights is weird.
Yeah.
And I had several odd things at the van right there over the next couple days when that happened. But the next night, it looks like about a 4-foot starfish keeps peeking around the side of the van, which is weird.
Oh, wow.
On so many levels.
You have weird people out there, or you have weird things that happen out there.
Do you think you think they're like some kind of remote viewing people, or like in the astral plane, and they're like picking it up or something? Even, could that be something?
I think it's most likely either. Well, there's a lot of weird stuff that happens here. I mean, I told you guys the story about the portal, like the vortex.
Yeah.
That's like, less than a mile from my house, and
right.
Like Radford is just kind of a weird, kind of like dimensional estuary, I think. And with the arsenal right across, like less than 2 miles away, in the underground facility there, where they were conducting, some of the experiments that Stranger Things are based on. Yeah. So I've had friends see different cryptids and stuff. Like I had buddies that saw a 6-foot rabbit.
6-foot rabbit.
Yeah, and not Harvey.
Wow.
Not Harvey.
What was the rabbit doing? Walking,
it was
or?
Like, yeah.
Like a human?
Yeah.
Jeez.
It was on. Its hind legs.
Right.
But it said it wasn't like somebody in a suit.
No.
Right.
Yeah.
No. Okay, now this other one is my favorite because what this does at the end kind of freaks me out a little. Well, it doesn't freak me out because I know better, but oh, doggone it. Come on now. Quit playing games with me here. Now, on this one, you got to wait a minute and you'll see that little light.
And you
Where's it going to be?
This is like January. It's like 9 degrees outside, too. So this isn't an insect. It's not any type.
Yeah, here it comes.
Light slowly moving across.
Where's it at?
In front of the
windshield. And if you look, keep an eye on it and watch what it does.
It kind of blinks. And if you look at it closely, it's like it has a tail.
I can't make it bigger.
Like a wake.
How it got bright. Now it comes down, and it is not a bug, and you'll see.
It's going to stop.
See how it leaves a trail, and then it stops, and it kind of stands up. Looks back, and then continues on its way.
And goes just into the ground.
I wish I could make it bigger because when it's bigger, you can see in the light of it, when it stands up, it almost looks like a human form. And I was like, oh.
See, that's what I'm saying. I think that their government is doing stuff, and they can cloak themselves and all kinds of weird,
There's definitely some weird cloaking shit going on.
Yeah.
That I think that's more. Um, the cameras are hacked, and it's a bitmap thing. Wherever the people are, like
Uh-huh.
AI is grabbing those same pixels from earlier when there wasn't anybody standing there, and it's moving them forward into that place because you can see what looks like a person, but it's just like just discolored,
Yeah.
like pixel map.
Yeah. Yeah.
Definitely something going on there.
I had last night, before I had that weird dream, Susie, that scared me after 2 hours and woke me up, and I
Yeah.
had to pinch myself and make sure that I wasn't a spirit and dead, really. Um, I was sitting here in the house and I'm going through my computer, and the hair in the back of my neck stood up. And I kind
Really.
of got this weird feeling, and I'm looking around. And it's like
Um,
somebody was here, but I didn't see them. So they weren't a spirit.
like a real person.
And I was looking around, and it was the weirdest feeling. Like I was being stared at. And I just had that feeling. And I'm like, because I thought the same thing in my head. All right, who the hell is remote viewing me? And get out of my living room. Because if it had been a spirit, even if it would have been a bad one, I'd have seen it. I'd have seen the shadow. I'd have seen the dark. I'd have
Yeah.
seen it. And I did not see this. It was just an overwhelming. There was somebody in my house in this room.
So do you
And
think it was an
I had that
astral
dream.
travel person, or do you think it was the actual person there?
Well, the thing of it is I've come to the conclusion that if it's, I turned my head so that I can look at my peripheral, because a lot of things in astral and spirits and different things like that, I can see I can see beyond the veil through my
The
peripheral
spirit.
if
Yeah.
it hits me right. But so I turned my head and I could not see anything, nothing. But there was somebody was in here, and I know they were, and I felt them. And then I fell asleep and had that dream where I was standing over my body on the floor, and there was blood everywhere. So
Reminds me
Now,
of Ronnie Millsap song.
Tommy,
a Ronnie Millsap song. What's
Yeah,
that?
there's a stranger in my house
I know, right? Get out.
that I can't see. Yeah, yeah. Yes, ma'am, Susie.
do you know anything about Roger told me he grew up in North Carolina and lives next to Asheville, like his family had a farm there. But he told me that there's this place there in Asheville, and it's just full of witches. And if you Google it, you can find that there are like tons and tons of witch facilities, and they have big festivals and things there. And one of the things, a lot of people, Tommy and Brenda, they have this theory that this was engineered, and I said no, this storm was not engineered. This particular storm was not. um that's my take. I think everybody else is wrong on this, but I believe this is not engineered. I think there's something else here. And Roger had told me for years about, how many witches congregate and do all kinds of a lot of witchcraft there in Asheville. And so this flood that came through there, it took all that out of there. And so I just wonder if could they have been doing some very dark magic, and so, something backfired on them and wiped them out. But it affected a lot of innocent people too, because Roger told me this story one time about, because he was in prison, and when he was in prison, um, he said that there was these two guys that were doing black magic, and they tried to send some demon to kill somebody. And what happened, instead of, they tried for 2 nights. On the second night, the demon went and was unsuccessful and came back into the circle they were standing. And these guys blew apart and a gazillion body parts everywhere. Just, and Roger saw it. They just blew, the demon killed them all. And he had to clean up a lot of the, he had to clean it up. Okay. It was pretty bad. He said he witnessed them doing it and witnessed them getting blowed up. And so, you know, sometimes there's karma for stuff when these witches do stuff and they send out, you know, dark magic, and the demons don't succeed in getting their target. They come back to the individual, go back to the sender. And, you know, my thought is maybe, just maybe, this whole thing had something to do with what was going on in Asheville, and it affected all these people. That's my take on it.
It could be.
I lived in
Go ahead.
Asheville. I lived there for like a year and a half, and it's definitely got a coexist kind of vibe. You know, like the Wiccans have the stickers, you know, on the cars and stuff, or just, you know, liberals in general. And they have like a namaste sticker on their car and flip you off as they're cutting you off. But on the highway there. But it's kind of an alternative vibe there. I never got the black magic kind of vibe from it. Just like the surliest
It's
waitress
there.
I've ever been around and experienced, that's for sure. But as far as like, I know I ran into some witches, I guess, while I lived there. But you know, it's weird. I lived there, but I didn't spend a lot of time. I was on the road a lot, and yeah, I guess, you know, if anything like evil and dark that's in Nashville that I could see, it would be just the greed. Because people either have money or they don't, you know. It's one of those
Right.
situations. It's like Santa Barbara.
Fame and greed, yeah.
I mean, it's you know, that's where like Biltmore Estates is, you know, the Vanderbilts, and which is, I mean, I wonder how that place fared. I remember going there when I was a kid.
It probably.
I had dreams of being in there afterwards. It was weird. That's like
It probably had no damage. What I
No,
from
right down. It's pretty low lying, and like right where the where everything was, they kept showing on TV over and over again. That was like right at Biltmore, like right at the gates. So I'm thinking it probably sustained some flood damage. I mean, and that place had a pool in the basement, indoor pool, and a bowling alley. I was quite impressed when I was like 8 years old when I went through it. But it's yeah, but there's some bad juju there, you know, in some ways. Like the first time I went there and performed, we had a show at this barbecue place, Ruby's Barbecue, and there was a fight that happened afterwards with Artemis and some guy that said he was going to take him outside and gut him like a fish, and Artemis smashed a beer bottle on his head, and then this place didn't have any bouncers, so this fight went on for 20 minutes maybe.
Oh gosh.
And finally like 13, 14 police cars showed up, but it was wild. Like yeah, Artemis ended up with broken ribs, a punctured lung, and 3 or 4 days later we were on the road to Florida to do shows. He just sucked it up. Crazy.
Well,
that was the Hall Creek Massacre.
If that's what happened out there because of the witches, then I hate to see what's going to happen in Tyler, Texas, because of the Satanists that just did that what'd they call it? Unbaptism.
Unbaptism.
Yeah, they did it. Unbaptism, and that you got a certificate, and they put an upside down cross on your forehead. And every time they did it, when they did it with somebody, they would say "Hell, Satan," and they would say "Hell, Satan," and they would balk. And I'm like,
Over in Lufkin, Texas, yeah.
it was Tyler.
Or Tyler.
Yeah,
Okay.
Tyler.
That's a
And
pretty big city.
no wonder why it cost me $38 to get on the freaking toll road in Tyler just to go 2 miles. Yes, they're using their money for, but apparently it's all over the town. There was very few people that were out there, with signs asking them to repent, and there were people up there giving up their faith to go get unbaptized. And I was sitting here thinking to myself, what America are we? You're right, Susie. How did we get on this timeline? Because it's I don't even know. Where have we gone? This is what we've done.
Well,
Really?
that's a result of televangelists and unscrupulous leaders in the church. Lots of child sexual abuse in the church, and
Yeah.
and
Yep.
just manipulation and coercion, programming, if you will, programming.
Oh yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's the devil in the pulpit.
Well, I decided that the worst thing they can do is suspend my driver's license if I don't pay that $38. And
Yep.
I don't drive anyways.
You
So,
don't drive.
I don't know if I want to give them that money because of what they're going to use it for.
Support that satanic.
Well, does the town is that a like a municipal like sponsored event, or was that a private thing?
Yeah.
I mean, did the town itself put it on, or was it was it a group of Satanists that did it in the town?
A group of Satanists in the county. Some of them were. One of them was the sheriff.
Okay. I mean,
I was
Michael,
like,
he was a general.
Yeah, I know. 4-star to be exact.
Very vocal Satanist. Yeah, that's what I was saying about Asheville. If you Google Asheville and witches, you will come up with umpteen million stores and shops where you can get voodoo dolls, and I mean it's kind of like New Orleans,
No, Jason.
all that kind of stuff. I mean it's just loaded full of witches though. Like it's so bad. Roger said. I mean it's horrible. It's really bad there. It's like that's where all the witches go to live.
I will tell you, we have Wiccans here. Well, I know a group of them, and they're not bad people, actually.
Yeah, Wiccan is a little different than we're talking dark.
They can be
black. Okay, but we're talking about witches that are casting horrible spells and harming people, and we're talking some black magic, dark.
There are Wiccans that can do some pretty black magic, if they study that. I know that with the Wiccan clan that I used to hang around with, they had several people they had to throw out for dabbling with black magic, and because they would have none of it. And one of the reasons,
because once you go black,
yeah, that's what they say. But you can't trust that.
That's
because
funny, Tommy.
I can justify to that. But
never thought of it like that. When they go black, they
go to the dark side of the force.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, mine was a abusive idiot. But yeah. So it's one of those things where it all depends on the person. I mean, let's just say those Wiccan that are out there, that they decided they wanted something more out of life, and how to get it. That book that I have, the Wicca for Dummies, even explains different spells and all that other stuff, even though that's something I never got into. But I'm not saying that the people that I hung out with didn't know how to do it, but they never really used it for bad. They used it for love and healing and all that stuff. So when they found out that somebody was using it for nefarious things, they would boot them out. They had to leave. So it all depends. I mean, Wicca they can do that too.
Did they
So
make them turn in their ID card?
yeah, ID card. They had to turn in their robes.
Turn in their robes.
Card carrying witch.
Watch your ID card.
Hey, license number on my broom is R13 X94.
Well,
Wow.
look, everybody can do certain things, through meditation or prayer or, different sending energy out, or, I mean, we all have that ability, and we can speak things into existence and, those kind of things. So, but, when you use it for selfish or the wrong reasons,
Right.
that's where there's a line between right and wrong, basically, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You know.
Hey, they're the ones who taught me about, when I go to cemeteries, what I'm supposed to do before I leave so I don't get an attachment. They taught me a lot of different stuff. So I was really grateful to them because they really helped me with my ability side to an extent. Um, but things just happened and I started working so much, and I just, every now and then I still talk to one or two of them every now and then, see how they're doing. But they're older. They're from an older clan. So if they really want to do some harm on somebody, they could, but they don't. They choose not to because they're really
Well,
decent people.
Brenda, Tommy, you may know a little bit about this, but because when I was studying the family of Jesus and his father and Hyla, I think it was, it's in the Bible actually. They came from they were longtime Druid, okay, religion. So I think that's a little bit like Wiccan in a way, right? I
Mm-hmm.
mean, what do you know about the Druids, Tommy?
It's the kind of druids are the kind of nature based uh, pagan, very pagan in beliefs with it's kind of the indigenous belief system of like the British Isles and that part of Europe. Um, it's similar to Norse, um, but it's
Okay.
but it's good. I mean,
Is
they're
it is
basically
it Norse based? Does it go back to Odin and the Druid kind of belief system? Is that
it's that's where like the satyrs and like
yeah, Seder?
like
They did.
and
Mhm.
some of the different. I think it has some Greek origins.
But
Some
that's for healing and herbs and health, and that's what Seder is. I mean, what Freya did, right? Was yeah. So that's all
and,
for the good, and yeah,
and Dionysus in Roman uh, you know ideology archetype. He's a god of celebration and fertility and dance and wine and music.
well, I guess look at the fact that you have a timeline where you have Jesus, and prior to Jesus, it wouldn't be called Christianity because that didn't even exist as far as that terminology. So you would have had another name for people who believed in gifts or whatever, and I guess that would have been the Druids, or right? I mean,
Well, I think it's just in different parts of the world.
yeah,
I mean, they existed, separately, but there's some of the same played some of the same roles. It's like shamans in indigenous cultures. They're the ones
yeah,
that walk the spirit world.
medicine
And
man, yeah,
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 and so and it's kind of the same with priests and in the ancient religions of Europe and there are several across the planet. There's stories of virgin births and very similar like tales of similar to Christ in different cultures. There was one in Russia, like some of the I can't remember the name of the deity, but it was a virgin birth situation, and like a lot of them are archetypes. It's like Joseph Campbell was a psychologist, and he was a he studied under Carl Jung, but he wrote a book called The Hero with a Thousand Faces, and it's kind of like it's what George Lucas based Star Wars on, with the Jedi Knights and the dark side of the Force, and it's
Oh,
all these
huh.
stories, these folk stories from Gilgamesh to the Odyssey to Beowulf. Each of the hero character, he goes through a series of.
Yeah, I'm
Uh,
actually related to that Beowulf as on my ancestry deal. Yeah.
so
Hmm.
each culture has a figure that represents the hero, and that's why it says the hero with a thousand faces, is because there's like certain person Hercules would have been in Greek mythology, and Heracles and
Yeah.
and and then in
And Thor, right?
Thor.
And
Yeah, exactly.
yeah. And
And,
the word
and
mythology, a lot of people get confused with that word. The word mythology means just verbally passed down hit stories. It just means, so it's told stories, not written in a book. It's spoken like Indian. So they tell you. So that's what mythology means. A lot of people don't realize it doesn't mean something that doesn't exist. It just means it's passed down from generation to generation. Yeah.
did you see what Jason put? They
What did
used the
Jason say?
ancestry test to clone you.
Oh God, I'm not
Well,
surprised.
I wish they would clone my damn leg and sew it back on.
there was a physician who figured out how to
You know they
regenerate.
can do that. Yeah.
I mean, back in the 50s, 60s. But
Yeah.
that doesn't make them people money. Like
Yeah.
they like they gave everybody basically the ability to. I mean, the
Or they'll
gene.
do it for themselves, right, Tommy? They'll do it for themselves, but not for everybody else.
Well, with like with the polio vaccine, there was something added into that that causes cancer, and like now we're seeing it's like receptor 50, like 47 or something. I can't remember exactly what it is. I was watching a podcast about it today, where like during the polio vaccine, one of the things that inadvertently got put into that was this genomic it attacks this certain gene that fights cancer, and now that's actually they found that in the jab, and that's what's causing all this turbo cancer. All of a sudden, where people are getting cancer, like the former owner of Google, um, like she got cancer and died within 6 months.
Jeez.
Um, and this happened over and over and over again. Part of the mRNA thing that it's almost like CRISPR. It alters your DNA, um, then it can be activated in mass with frequency. That's why you're seeing the clusters of strokes and heart attacks in young, healthy people, athletes and stuff having heart attacks and dying. It's there's a number of different things that it causes, but one of those things is it's that one receptor that fights cancer. Now, there have been innumerable cures for it, but the people who find the cures end up um, not alive, disappear, and always under odd circumstances. And it's because they make too much money off of the treatment. This is true,
Yeah. Yeah,
Uh,
especially if it's greedy people running the corrupt
and that's all it
businesses.
is. That's all it is. They run everything. There's a reason that there are trillionaires,
Mm-hmm.
you, you,
not
you
because they're
know,
generous.
I'm kind of curious about something.
Thank you, Brett.
Okay, like you know how we all have abilities, right? Okay.
Right.
So our powers to be, or the Satanists, um, ones that are in charge, they use devices to be able to tell certain things and use your DNA to see what blood type you are. It's not like they can tap into anybody to find out who you are. Is their third eye just completely shut down? Do they not have the open-minded enough to have those abilities?
No, they're reptiles. I mean, they're on they have way more they totally lack empathy. I mean, it's like super narcissist. Narcissists don't have the ability to they can fake empathy, and they can mimic it, but they don't have a natural sense of that. Now they have a deep sense of shame, which is why they're always projecting bullshit onto everybody else around them as a way to
Yeah.
cover their ass to make sure that they aren't seen for what they are.
I agree with that. Hmm.
But then there's sociopathic greed and like Machiavellianism. Those are all like cluster B personality types, and a lot of those things are like sociopathy. All those things are associated with evil people. And they walk among us. They walk among us.
Well, this
Yeah.
is scarier than evil people. What Norma
What's
just said. She
What?
asked, what about all that blood from lab work? What did they do with it? She said she asked
I've
her
heard
doctor.
that.
And the doctor told her that China owns the rights to the labs and the blood. And they catalog all labs done.
I know this is going to sound bad, but Michael Aquino wrote a book about vampires and explained a lot. And he kind of laughed at everybody. Said, a lot of people don't believe in vampires, but they're real. And
Oh, yeah.
kind of talked about a lot of the blood that gets donated is to take care of their needs. So I mean, if you go in there and you look at some of the books he's written. He's written quite a few. There's a whole thing. You can PDF it on Google, and he wrote quite a bit about vampires in it.
There it is.
And they
Norma,
live amongst us. They live amongst us, just like you say,
Norma
Tommy.
said, Norma said the Red Cross is a scam. They're nothing but a bunch of blood vampires.
I like the Green Cross.
Yeah. What do they collect? Tommy, I'm kind of curious there.
That's what they have at the dispensaries.
I see. Well,
there were people that said Michael Aquino was actually a reptilian, a very fierce, nasty one. Yeah, that's his true form.
I mean, I'm not sure what all he was other than a Satanist and a dick, but I can say that because it's my show.
Well, they said they saw him in his reptilian form. Yeah.
Yeah. I only donated, well, let's see. I only donated blood once, and I did it when I was in Tennessee, and I did it in a bus. And when I got done, the lady said, "How do you feel?" I said, "Oh, a little groggy." She said, "Here." And because I was a diabetic, Marcus the diabetic, she gave me a damn Diet Coke. And I kind of looked at her funny, but I thought, okay, well, I'm thirsty anyways. It was summertime. I no sooner stepped off that bus and I passed out. They had to pick me up and carry me and put me back in the bus. And then when I woke up, they gave me some cookies, thank God, finally, and orange juice. And I got up and went right back into the building and went back to work. They were collecting outside of our work, and we were able to go take a break to go give blood and then come back to work. I was like, wow.
They did that in my high school my senior year.
I never gave it when I was younger. I wasn't allowed to give it. My parents forbid anybody to take my blood. But now that I know what I know, I think I know why.
Yeah, you don't want to be feeding them
So
lizard
no,
people.
it wasn't that.
Not like
It wasn't that. It was so that nobody would, you know, get my DNA and figure out
Yeah.
who I was. So, you
Oh,
know,
that's true too. Yeah.
Like
they would,
Ancestry.
huh?
Do your
Like Ancestry. You know who
yeah.
owns Ancestry? Evil people. That's why I never sent my shit in.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that they already got mine, but
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
Yep.
yes.
So, and like I said, I only donated once, and that was when I was in Tennessee. And that didn't work out so well for me. The other day we were driving down the road and I seen one of those donation buses out in the parking lot of the Heights Marketplace. And it says, hurry and donate today. People need you. And we're driving by and I'm looking out the window going, yeah, I don't think so. I will never give.
Yeah, because isn't it true reptilian has to have so much blood to keep his human look?
I
Yeah.
don't know.
They just go eat people. What are you talking about? You know how many people come up missing every day?
But you know what I'm saying? They gotta have human blood in order to stay in a human form. Yeah.
They prefer adrenaline blood.
I
Well,
think
yeah.
They grab you,
think,
they scare the shit out of you, and then they eat you.
I don't think
Yeah.
it's that they actually hold human form. I think they through telepathy they cause us to see them as humans.
Right.
In the
Well,
same way
then,
that the extraterrestrials, like the Greys, a lot of times people who interact with the Greys, they'll instead of seeing the Greys, they have memory of an owl or like a deer in their bedroom.
But the
well,
vampires, they live longer. Now the sun doesn't bother them like they say, but
they do.
they get longevity from the human blood.
But I think that they've just perfected how they keep human form now because I know that I've seen them drop a half a face just because they knew I was looking at them. So I would think that if it was a telepathy thing where they were controlling your mind to be able to see them, if they were to do that, they would break that concentration because you can actually make them break that concentration.
Yeah, my
And
friend Robert said at those parties that when they get drunk, they can't keep their form. They turn into the reptiles.
I had that happen in jail one time with a guy that was in there.
Oh shit!
Huh?
Was he in the same cell as you?
Yeah.
Oh crap!
I mean, he was a nice guy. He was offering to pay my bail to get me out.
Okay.
He had one of those bucket like things that peanut butter comes in, and it probably had $4,000 in it. In jail, it was weird. And but this guy, he like we were talking about UFOs and stuff. As it was a big open shared like cell with maybe 30 people in it. And it was probably double capacity. This was in Kentucky. I got arrested for marijuana possession and possession of marijuana paraphernalia at a way station. See, I grabbed the book bag and not cleared it completely out when I stuck some clothes in it to drive to Cincinnati to unload a move for somebody. So
Jason,
there it was, right there in Kentucky, and they got zero tolerance back then. I mean, you couldn't have a seed, nothing. But I did get quite the compliment on my paraphernalia. It was a bowl that looked like a little skull on the end. It had a long bone sticking off the back of it, and had I made it when I was in college there at Tech, and so it was real cool. They said they gonna put it in the showcase of the paraphernalia and shit that they
Oh my gosh.
confiscate.
They liked it, huh?
Yeah, they thought it was cool. That was where's that? Moorhead, Kentucky.
Jason, I don't think that they have to test for that, honey. I think all they have to do is ask them because they're usually pretty proud people. They'll tell them. They'll absolutely tell them. Well, listen, guys, we are over 11 o'clock. So Tuesday, it's going to be an hour earlier. We're going to go ahead and do the Bigfoot thing. I've got Barb Hartman coming on. And of course, a lot of you guys know Barb. She's a very sweet woman. And she has Bigfoots that live on her property. She's a researcher. She also does her own podcast. wonderful woman. I've known her for quite a while. She's really great. And then, like I said, D.A. Roberts is doing a conference thing in Ohio. I believe that's what he said this week. So I was going to try to get him on Thursday night, but he's doing that. So I am going to be looking for somebody for Thursday night. I'm probably going to ask Rob because Rob's got a lot of people that do that. And there's people in his chat that, you know, like to do, wanted to come on. They said something about coming on. Jason, I think Angel Wings, it was that one time that said she would love to do that. So I'm going to get with Rob and see if I can get in his chat and find out, or he may know how, well, he should know how to contact her. But so I'm going to try and get this all together. Most of the Bigfoot ones are going to be an hour earlier than the other one. And I don't know, you know, we may make the other one an hour earlier depending, because Susie's been going to bed early and getting up early. So the earlier I can get her to bed, the bigger, the better, the better she'll be if she comes in. Tommy said that it's a good time because it's after dinner but before bed. So and we love you guys all. It's been great. Jason, you're goofy. And no, don't ever say, do I have to leave? You can say whatever you want. We don't mainly take offense to most stuff, so it's okay.
You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here.
Yeah. So we will keep an eye on your things because the shows will come up. But we will be back on Tuesday night. So you guys have a good rest of your weekend. Be safe this week. And like always, please be kind to one another. And we will see you Tuesday night. Good night.
Goodbye for now, from Beyond the Box.
Please join us again for Beyond the Box, Friday and Saturday evenings, from 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Central, 10 p.m. to midnight Eastern. Join us for more intel bombs from our extraordinary guests.
Good night, Putin. Good night, Tucker.